Morning, everybody. This is Max Farrow. This is Dex Fx Markets.com. Today is the 30th of January, 2019, and this is a daily update. All right, so let's get started. I got to tell you, I've been building this system now for about 3 months, and I am so excited about what's happening. We have the TNT charts. We have all these programs on board, but the TNT charts are one of my favorites. The reason being is that I've already loved TradingView, okay? And I love their process and what we're doing. We're now at a point to where I know that these particular charts here have one flaw, and that flaw is you can't save anything to the chart, right? Well, that's going to end. We're actually establishing a secure hub and user interface for these particular charts. Now, we already have it. I haven't installed it yet on the systems yet because I need to make 2 versions of it, right? One is going to be free that nobody has to sign up for. You won't get the use of being, you could take a snapshot of it, but you can't create a username and for this particular chart system to be able to do that with. So there is a little bit of work to do, okay? And plus, it takes a tremendous amount of server space to save. You know, if we have one person who saves all 10 of these, that's 10 pretty big files, and we have thousands of people in the system. So, you know, it's still we're putting it out in batches and tests. Okay, so this is a very powerful program just within itself, especially with all of the indications that are on here right now. Are very lucrative to our position of trading. These charts are by far the best charts I've ever worked with as far as we have built to be able to depict our process, especially on the 5-minute signals board. We are getting so many people talking about the TNT strategy, trade or trend, negate, trade strategy. It's very, very powerful. So I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am and what I will be doing once I stop building. All right, so let's talk about that real quick. I'll just leave this chart up so we can stare at it for a second. The Nadex spreads are really doing well, and I'll pull up Thor's spread journal for this week so far, which he's done very, very well for this week. It started, hey, listen, doing spreads very slow, right? Again, it's like trading, it's like betting on snails racing, okay? You got to get it. But there is a very strong case of consistency when this happens. And we'll release the information on what Thor is trading on and how he's trading in his flow. And I'll put some rules onto a special trading platform for him so he can start putting his rules down, what he uses the spreads for. But losses, very, very low, okay? Because he's buying the right contracts. He's buying the right processes. Now, is he making a ton of money per each one? And the answer is no, not really. I mean, he's got 9 trades in, and if we look at that, there were 7 winners. Out of those 7 winners, he's made $108, right? But when he's lost, he only lost $10 on that one and 70 cents on that one. So only about $10.70. So, you know, an average of about $5 per loss, okay? But with a win side of about $8-9 per win, so not too bad, right? Or actually a little bit more, 10 something, yeah. Seven wins, yeah. Let's look at that. 108 divided by 7. $15.42 average per win, so not too shabby, okay? I'll probably even put that up here to start calculating that for him, but not too shabby at all. The spreads, very low risk, very, very low risk. And the opportunities that you get to get into these could yield out a pretty high risk. Now, in some cases, I mean, you got in this one for $21 on a risk, but still for two contracts. And he's been doing this split contract process just as of late, to where he gets 2 contracts on a particular pair, and he puts a take profit at one contract for a limit order, and then lets the other one go to expiry. And when he usually lets them go to expiry for both of them, he does pretty well. Okay, and you can kind of see here right now, very, very excited about this process and it unfolding. So Thor's doing very, very well. Paul Davey, who is also one of our long-term traders, has been trading on the dailies. Of course, that's his key. That's what he does. And again, he works full-time, and he works with us in customer service. You guys probably met him a few times. This is what he trades. He trades the dailies, and he goes and he puts on his working orders, and he may not get one every day. And I told him, because he originally was doing like a whole bunch of trades. He's just focusing on dailies now. So he's setting the pace for you of what you should be seeing per week, but he's doing a different time zone than you, right? He's doing, as you can kind of see, 3 a.m. in the morning. This is the London session, right? And maybe a couple in the US session. But you should be seeing results like this. Okay? And if you're not, then we need to set a consult to have a talk. Okay? We need to find out where you're at, what you're doing, and why you're doing it in the fashion you're doing. We need to set your expectation, which is very important. And of course, my brother jumped back in. He had to get some glorified light time in there to see that he was trading as well. I don't know if his spreadsheet's going to come up. There's a lot of stuff going on my computer. There it is. So his week has been going pretty good. He didn't trade a lot yesterday. He did, but he started to trade just about, I don't know if you can see his tabs down here. I'll pull his tabs down here so you can see. There's all these tabs on. He's all over the place. He wants to trade everything, right? Look at this. So from the 27th to the 29th, he did a couple of, because when he sees that there's not something in the dailies, he goes and he trades something else. Now, I don't recommend this. Okay, I say stay with something till you're perfect now, but Brian's been trading for a long time. He also does some 5-minute trades when they're fill-ins. But look at this. These are beautiful. When you really are patient and you're like a sniper, you can choose what instrument you want to do it with, but you gotta have the experience. You gotta put your time in every single one of these. These are SR Maxes that he was on. And here's his times 10. This means that these are the trades that he knows that he can place on the heavy. These look like that was an intraday. And he assesses the market by using the TNT charts, and he waits for perfection out of those, and he just nails it. Look at this, $66 profit margin. Made $662. Pretty wild, right? So I'm very excited that he was able to get into this solution and really make it happen. There is a large amount of people that are here trying to trade from all walks of life, and everybody has their own way of doing it. Now, for some news. Before I go into Bot Garden and start showing you all that kind of good stuff, I have to tell you about something else that's happening with we have a lot of Nadex utensils, okay? We have a lot of Nadex utensils. And one of our crown achievements is the daily signals. And I've mentioned yesterday in a webinar, and I'll mention here in this video, that the daily signals are very, very powerful. Of course, as we know, look at these success rates in here. So what our system is going to do is that it's simply going to look. Now there's every session, it's going to, there's an AI bot that we have made that looks back and goes, we're looking for ones that have 100% all the way down to 97%, and is looking at those, and it's staying focused on those. And as we know, when the market travels and we pick the high and the low and it emerges out at the top, we call that a buy. Okay, uses the bottom number to set as the open price. When the price pulls back close enough, if you have a working order on it, it'll get picked up and goes, right? We know that. But what happens when the price goes up, we get the high and the low, it emerges out of the top, pulls back, but then goes below the line, right? If it expires past below the line, that's a loss, right? But there are times when it expires past the line, or it goes down below the line, and then right before expiry comes back up again, right? This time over here is referred to as OTM. This is out, I guess, out of the money, right? And out of the, that's the T, money. Okay, so out of the money signals, out of the money systems here like this are very difficult to come by. Why? Because you don't really need a very large rate of success, but people get lost in them. In this system here, our daily system, it does have an out of the money strategy. You just have to sit down and wait for it. You have to sit down and wait for the process. If you see the Euro USD sitting at 100%, you would sit and just hawk that Euro USD. You would go over to the news tab, and you would basically set this up that you're looking for news to hit, right? You're looking for news to come out and say, you know, okay, at 10:30, this is hitting. It's going to go OTM, okay? That is going to go OTM from that process. Now, that particular OTM strategy is very powerful, but it takes time. It takes your manual time to do it. So what we did is that we created an AI that scans the daily signal, picks out the open price, and it waits on that Euro USD. Okay, because we have this, we got the high and the low, it's picked out the bottom, and it waits for it to go OTM, which it can do. And it waits for any pair to go OTM from that process, right? That has a 97% success rate or above. Why is that so important? Well, because on Nadex, when you're getting a statement or a contract on our regular dailies, you're getting them for a profit, if you win, of about $25, but you're risking $75. With this concept, so these are what we refer to as in the money strategy. An OTM for the contract, you might as well just flip it. You're getting them for 75 and you're risking 25. Now, in some cases, this is even heavier. This is like 10 and 90 or 15 and 85. But we're going to stay right around in here. So we go from a 1, you know, we're risking 3 to make 1, where we're risking 1 to make 3. Ooh, I did that backwards. But we're risking, we're making 3. We're making 1 and risking 3, but we're making 3 and risking 1 here. You get it? So the risk to reward ratio is flipped. So let me show you what that looks like. If you normally risk $75 on the system, normal risk, if you were to risk the same amount again on an OTM, here if you win $25. Here if you win, risking still the same amount, $75, okay, and you win, you're winning $225. I don't think I need to say anything more. This system is coming out this weekend. We have it in testing right now. We're testing the parameters on how everything comes over. We're testing the delivery system. We may have a chart just like, or a signal board just like this. We will be emailing them out. We might be emailing them out. We might be putting them on a list. There's a whole bunch of things we could be doing. So don't feel like there is a loss of connection here with this process, because you still need to learn how to trade. You still need to know when to risk and what to risk. You still need to look at certain things. So when it goes OTM, which if you go back and you look at the histories, anything that's really super close, like even in the losses, I mean, yeah, we don't want to use the losses as an OTM signifier, of course. But there's the Audi JPY that would have triggered. USD CHF, anything that's sitting over 97% at that time. USD CHF sitting there, pretty powerful. So we don't know how many times it's going to trigger. We have a feeling of how many times it'll trigger, and we're very excited about that. But even if only triggers, say 10 times a week, and you're able to get those trades, okay? I don't even know what I tried to spell there. Okay, 10 times a week. With those kinds of numbers, risking just what you normally would risk, how much money could you make? Even if you only filled out 3 trades at that $75 win ratio, there's $225 a week coming in. Even if you just did 1 contract, you see? And if you did happen to lose, so that's what I'm really excited about. You couple that with the bot system. We have our bot garden kicking butt too. I'm gonna put this up there. Let's go over and see and have a look to see what it's done so far. Today it looks like it's hit a few things today. We're into a few. Let's see, what did we trade with this morning? 130. Okay, yeah. Again, when you get really close and things start moving, and you only make a couple of pips on it, you're not going to win a lot of money right up front. Okay, but it's training itself. It's programming itself to continue moving forward and capturing solutions in there, right? So keep that in mind. So the Great Britain pound didn't yield out a lot of money for us, but it looks like let me pull up the. It looks like the USD CHF is heading in the right direction, and we have a couple other trades on for the AUD USD. That's sort of it may not grab the right direction, but now it's fixing itself. All right, well, I really do appreciate your time. I hope you all have a great day. I'm Max Farrow. This is Dex Fx Markets.com. I'll see you next time, and as always, trade well.